In this video, I would like to show you how to install the upgraded trigger board into the MG5E, but you can also install it into MG2E and MGH1. If we compare the boards, we see the difference in components. The older board using the power switch, if you would leave it on, you will drain the battery. The newer board using the power button to power on and power off the unit. It also features 30 minutes deactivation time. So if you didn't use the pistol for 30 minutes, it will automatically shut off with zero power consumption. And even during the runtime, it consumes 20 times less than the original board. It has the lower battery indicator, adjustable reactivation period, so the board could be used in rapid pistols and free pistols, and it features the trigger contact noise filtering. The installation is pretty simple. First of all, we need to take the cover off, and with electronics, take the battery out first before you do anything. Let's take battery out. Now we can unscrew the two screws that holding the board. Take the board out, unplug the two plugs. The plug with two wires is a coil plug, with one wire is a trigger plug. They are in different locations on a new board. Consult the manual. The plug near the capacitor is the coil plug, and the other one is a trigger plug. To take the new board, let's plug the coil plug first. Then the trigger wire. Okay, attach it back to the pistol. Make sure you don't you pull the wires out and you don't install it over the wires. So you don't pinch any of them. Okay, now we can take the battery and plug the battery. And put the wires in. And that is it. Let's power the board for the first time. You just need to push the button and hold it for about half a second. You'll see the blue light come on, and then the red light would blink. That is a normal operation and indicating that the trigger board is ready to accept the trigger. So now we pushed on the trigger and we hear the normal clicks. So that is it. As I mentioned before, this board has 3 adjustable reactivation periods, the long, medium, and high. What it means is if we, with MG5, we fire a shot, then pushing the trigger again and again will not fire it until you release the trigger for about a second and a half. Then it can fire the second trigger. In rapid fire pistols, that delay, that the deactivation period needs to be shorter, so you can fire multiple shots consecutively. To adjust that, we will turn the, first of all, the board off. So the board is off now. I'm going to power the board on and hold the button. We will see the blue light come on, and then it will go off, and then we release the trigger. So this is a special menu where you can configure the reactivation period. The light is blinking 3 times. That means it's the longest period. If I'll push on the trigger, it will blink once. That's the shortest period. And if I'll push one more time, it will blink 2 times, and that's medium. So basically it goes through three different modes, 1, 2, and 3. So if you're installing it into the MG2, you probably want to set it to one blink. With MG5, I'll set it to 3 blinks, so reactivation times is longer. And then you just power off the board. Push the button and hold. The board is using microcontroller and a software. As with the software, there could be some changes and different versions of software. To check the version of the software that you have now, you would push on a trigger and hold it, and then you power on the board, and it will blink 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is the fourth version of the software. It's the same board, it's just a little bit different tweaks to the software that we've made. Some of the troubleshooting tips. So the trigger is just the contacts, 2 contacts that disconnected when you push on it. So if that contact would be, let's say, dirty or stuck in an open position, let's say after the fire, and you can fire another bullet, you will notice that the red light is on. That indicates the issue. That indicates that the trigger is disconnected. That's something wrong with the electrical system. It could be unplugged plug from the trigger, maybe the broken wire, or the problem with the switch. If the light is blinking, that means the contacts are shorted and it's ready to accept the trigger. A couple words about trigger contact noise filtering. The trigger is just 2 contacts, and when you push it, you disconnect the contacts. That tells the boards to fire. If you would lighten the trigger by adjusting the spring tension, if you make it very light, then when you're opening and closing, that mechanical movement and click would actually disconnect the contact for a very short period of time, for about 5 milliseconds. So it's very short, but that's enough for the older board to fire it. So again, if you lighten your pressure when you're closing it, you sometimes might have the accidental firing, because during the closing you're hitting mechanically the gun, and that makes the contacts move and disconnect for a short period of time, and it triggers it. So this board has the filtering system, which identifies those erroneous disconnect due to the opening and closing gun versus the push of the trigger.